Tale of my survival in a haunted house. Sahar Khan. A few years ago we moved into an old house, and from day one, it had a cold feel to it. The house was as haunted as a Hollywood movie. The first night there, around 2 a.m., we heard a man sob in an echoing voice. We were unaware then and thought maybe it's someone outside. A week or so went by, and we started meeting our neighbors. They all told us we have shifted to the haunted house of the street, and we should leave. They said the house is cursed, extremely haunted, and no one stays here for long. We hadn't felt or seen anything yet, so we didn't take heed to any warnings. Then it all started. We saw doors and cabinets open and shut by themselves. We started hearing whispers and footsteps at night. And something whispering our names in our ears. My sibling even saw tall dark shadows walk around both inside our house by the bathrooms and out in the backyard. By now, we were all ready to move. But our dad hadn't seen anything and refused to leave the house based on just how it made us feel. So we were stuck there unwillingly, while still pushing our dad to find another place. My worst memory of that house is this. Our guest room was the most active place. It was where we had our PC set up. One night I was using the computer when I realized the lights outside were off. I turned to switch off the PC when I saw on its screen a reflection of something black and tall run past behind me. I immediately ran out of the room and towards my bedroom that I shared with my sisters. It was down the hall, about 9-10 steps away. And as I ran in the darkness, I heard something run after me. I heard its feet touch the ground right behind me, and I could hear a faint breath. I was in tears. I screamed and entered my room and slammed the door shut behind me without looking behind. And as I did that, my sisters and I all heard an evil laugh come from behind the door. It was a woman's laugh, like that of a witch in movies. Of course, I didn't sleep that night. Now listen how my father finally experienced the presence of those entities. So, due to my father's skepticism, we were still stuck in that hell house. By now, no one could be alone in a room without experiencing something. In a 5-bedroom house, we used to sleep together in one room. At night, we used to lock up the doors and get in bed. And we would hear the entry door unlock and open, and then hear footsteps, then we would hear the outside gate open. It was like something was roaming about in our house. One night, while we were at our grandparents' place, and my dad was home alone, he had his first experience, thankfully. He says at around 3 a.m. he woke up to the sounds of children playing in the room. He got startled, and looked up outside his blankets and saw 3 short shadow figures jumping and laughing on the bedroom floor. He lay there in shock and couldn't move, and they eventually disappeared. The next night he came home to see all the lights and chandeliers turned on and the curtains drawn. The house looked like one big ball of light from the outside. That was very scary even for our neighbors. Then he also experienced doors open and shut by themselves. He would come out of his room at odd times and ask us if we had been in his room. When we would say no, he would leave confused. After these experiences, he got concerned and told us not to go explore any sound that we might hear around the house, and stay in our rooms at night, and he will start looking for other houses. Another incident I recall is when we had guests over. They came with 2 little children about 6 and 8 years old. One evening they were sitting watching TV and we were in the next room talking and having tea. Suddenly they ran into our room saying they want to leave. When we asked them what's wrong, the older child said a woman is standing in the guest room, the same room I mentioned in my previous post as the most active, and she's whispering saying, "Come here kids, come here." They said, "We don't know her mama. She has a face we do not recognize and we do not like. Come and see, she's standing behind the curtain peeking through and grinning." We all went to see, but of course saw no one. In my head, I knew it's the same woman that chased me, remember, and laughed as I shut the door behind me. She was by far the evilest thing there. My mother also saw her once. She was in the kitchen late one night for some water when she heard a giggle and saw someone run by the kitchen door. She came out and saw a woman skipping towards the guest room, wearing a white dress and open long hair almost down to her feet. Needless to say, she ran to her room. I have spent 4 years in that house. That's how long it took us to leave. Every time we decided to move, something would happen that would delay our move. That house was cursed. It somehow made us stay for as long as it could. We did hear that the people who shifted thereafter moved out after only 3 months. I don't know if it's vacant now. It is not far from where I live now. Till today, even after 5 years since we moved out, it gives me nightmares.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe for more stories.